Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be looking at the Hyundai Santa Cruz Limited. We're going to see if this tiny pickup truck is actually worth it. I've been living with this for the last week, so this will be kind of more like a long-term review. Before we get into this, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbo 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed dual clutch. Fuel economy is 19 around town, 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 281 horsepower and then 311 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you can see this one's finished in this really cool dark green, and then we have a very interesting light design. You can see part of it right here is grille, but then this is actually lights off to the side, and then you have the actual headlight cluster down below, and you've got this kind of like not quite a brushed finish, but kind of like a darker chrome. It's a better way to describe it with the front end. Now, turning wheel setup is 245 by 50 by 20, and you can see with the wheels, you got the silver with the blacked out trim, and then this is cool with the fender flare, and then you got that kind of like cladding on the bottom, and then this is where you can see it's a pickup truck because you got the little bed there in the back, and it is unibody independent suspension in the front and in the rear. Now this leads us to the key fob where you've got our lock and unlock function, remote start there as well, and kind of like a spaceship look. Also you can see there the drop down for the tailgate. Just hold that down and that'll actually pop it down, which is pretty cool. You notice that the bed has protection from the factory. And again, not massive. This is a mini truck at the end of the day, but you have a decent amount of storage. And then the tonneau cover is pretty straightforward. And that strap is to help out with pulling it closed. But just like the Ridgeline, you've got a little kind of trunk there in the bed. But yeah, when you're all done, just kind of pull that forward, and then the bed itself locks into place easily. This is cool with the taillights. And then down below, you guys can see here with the little bumper step setup, and let me know what you guys think about the looks, but definitely unique. And then this leads us inside. We've got some cloth trim there up top. You can see the soft touch down below, and then we've got this nice trim here on the seats, and then popping in, legroom, pretty good. Got a little storage net. We've got vents here in the back, USB ports as well, and then headroom back here is pretty good, and then the window in the back does open up. It's manual, of course. And then popping up front, you can see we've got soft touch there at the top, cloth trim down below. All of our window controls, got your mirror adjustments, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. You can see the memory seat function. So this is a truck, 1411 for the payload. That ain't bad. This thing can also tow about 5,000. And then here's the front seat. Power adjustments there on the side. Steering wheel is manually adjustable. You can see controls for the stability control, and then your tow mode. It does have dedicated tow mode. And bada bing, bada boom. I find this new steering wheel logo very interesting, but it does look cool. I will say that. We've got adaptive cruise control with lane centering. We've got our volume and voice command controls. Paddle shifters there on the back for the dual clutch, and then you've got your stalks there for the light controls, and then for the windshield wiper controls, and just nice trim around the steering wheel in general. Full digital gauge cluster, and just like other modern cars, you can scroll through and change what this displays here in the center. And then with the drive modes, there's a little bit of a change with the cluster itself, depending on the mode that you've selected. Now this does also come with a 360 camera system, and nice little exterior shot there, good resolution as well. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's quick to respond. Everything's very self-explanatory. That's kind of like the Hyundai way with modern, well, the modern Hyundai way, I should say. And then yeah, just a screen there across the dash, but you do have this nice storage area above the glove box, and then soft touch trim there at the top. They give you a bunch of physical controls for the radio, also for the climate. Again, dual zone climate with heated and ventilated seats and a heated steering wheel. Got a little phone charging pad here with little USB ports. And then we've got a shifter for the dual clutch. This does come with drive mode select right there. You got hill descent control, center locker to make the power distribution more equal, front to rear, auto hold, and then your camera. We've got some cup holders. This is nice with the center console. Nice trim there on the top. And then this does come equipped with a sunroof as well. Okay, so window sticker, 2025 Santa Cruz Limited all-wheel drive. Comes Comes with pretty much everything. And this is all standard equipment other than the carpeted floor mats. $44,105 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it performs. So, Hyundai Santa Cruz. It's always exciting when I have a test vehicle for a week because it gives me a much better idea of the vehicle rather than just the normal dealership reviews. So the first thing I'll say about the Santa Cruz is, on a daily driving side of things, it is really good. The ride's comfortable. It's small, so it's easy to fit into parking spaces. It's not super high off the ground, so it's easy to get in and out of. And so it's just really good when you daily drive it. It's just a great vehicle with from that perspective. It also gets pretty, decent fuel economy. Again, this is basically a crossover with a truck bed, so you're going to get all the benefits of the crossover with a little bit of added utility. Now, the only thing that I am not super fond of, and we'll just spend a little bit of time on this. Everyone's talked about it, but it has to be talked about. The dual clutch. It is beyond me as to why Hyundai is pushing dual clutches so much in cars that aren't sports cars. Like, dual clutch makes all the sense in a sports car because you want something that's going to be a little bit rougher, a little bit more on edge, right? But in something like this, that's, again, supposed to be like a mini pickup truck, it just doesn't make sense. It's not, once you're up and moving, it's not bad, actually. It's great. It's smooth. It's just that initial, some lurchiness when you're reversing it. You can feel it. You can feel the transmission, grabbing and everything. It's just not the smoothest experience on the planet. And so, yeah, I do think the dual clutch is definitely a downside. So, I don't know. I just think that they should just torque converter for the pretty much all their cars, and then for the cars that the sports cars, right, you can throw a dual clutch in it. And that's not and that's not even to talk about the dual clutch while towing and then off-roading and all that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah. But it's, with the turbo, it's got good power, and again, it's smooth. It is smooth. So, not bad. And the turn signal camera is a pretty cool feature, I will say that. It's nice, especially on the interstate, as kind of like a double check, because sometimes, you've got blind spot ring with the mirror, and you look back, right, before you change lanes, but having that, like, third thing, as long as you're not relying on it, that's the only thing I'd have beef with if people are only using that, but as long as you're not relying on it, it's nice to have as, like, an extra thing, like, just in case, you didn't see the triangle there in the mirror, or you kind of didn't see him when you looked over your shoulder, and then someone's there, it's always nice to have. So, looks like we got some quails. No, those aren't quails. Little birds, though. Anyways, to sum things up with the Santa Cruz, I think this is cool. I think the mini truck segment's great. The problem with these mini trucks is they've gotten too expensive. Too expensive. This is $44,000. I guarantee half the comments on this video will be, I can buy X mid-size pickup truck for that amount of money. And this is the thing that Hyundai and Ford that makes the Maverick need to understand about these mini trucks, is people are not buying these for luxury. They're buying these for the utility of the vehicle and the fact that they're more affordable than a traditional pickup truck. And so the pricing needs to reflect that, is the point that I'm trying to make. So over $40,000 is too much. Like, this shouldn't exist package-wise. What I think that, and again, this goes with Ford too. What I think they should do in terms of pricing on these trucks is basically just have two packages. One package is completely baseline, like no options whatsoever. If someone just wanted like a utility vehicle and it's dirt cheap, right? And even if it's stick the key in the ignition, right? Just as basic as it possibly can be, dirt cheap, better be like well under $30,000. And then they have a second package. And the second package should have off-road stuff, right? I'm not talking about like, Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, just a little bit of off-road stuff. And it should have a decent amount of features, and it's got to be under $40,000. And I think that'd be possible because with manufacturing, if you only had two packages the factory was having to build, they didn't have to build 10 different packages. The streamlining of production means that, well, lower cost of production means that you can charge less for the vehicle. Something that, Hyundai does with other cars, and, Toyota does as well. A lot of Japanese automakers kind of do things that way, and Hyundai's obviously Korean, but that's the point that I'm trying to make, is this is just too expensive for what people view this as, where it's a small utility vehicle. It's really appealing when it's affordable, but when it's over 40 grand, yeah, people aren't going to be as interested anymore. So I think they should just do one package, sorry, two packages: base model, sub 30 grand, and then super like nice loaded up with some off-road stuff, somewhere like in the low 30s, maybe mid 30s max. And then I think they would just fly off the shelf left and right, and also get rid of the dual clutch. That would be fantastic. And then engine wise, again, that would be super simple. Have the naturally aspirated engine in the base model, and then have the turbo engine in that package just in the mid 30s with it, again, torque converter automatic. And so it's like, if you want the loaded up engine, you get the loaded up car. If you want the base engine, you get the base car. Done deal. Let me know your thoughts.